folks. Welcome to a special electoral edition of Mecha Taco, where we won't discuss politics at all, except for this brief little intro here. What better way to celebrate the voting process today than with the game of Bomberman? Don't look too much into that. Instead of constantly hitting F5 on my browser, I'm doing this. I'm playing Bomberman and just letting things go. You know, whichever way you lean, history will be made, for better or worse. So let's leave it like that for tonight, and let's just continue playing and enjoying a nice game of Bomberman. You know what? Bomberman is good stuff. So there we go. Let's kill the Saturn music for a little bit. Go ahead and start up this. There we go. Oh, that's a little loud, isn't it? Let's drop that down so you can actually hear me. I want you to hear the music too, so there. See if that's better than last night. Okay, so Bomberman 93 has a load feature, provided you have the TurboGrafx CD attachment or the Turbo Booster. Okay, let's see one. Whoa, that's not the button I pushed. This is Jason, by the way, in case you didn't realize it. You know, as opposed to one of our many other hosts that that are here on Mecha Taco. I'm currently the only host on Mecha Taco. But, you know, we're working on it. Okay, yes. What have I got? I think I have 3 bombs right now. Yeah, I just planted that there to stop him from coming at me. Because enemies will do that. So I have to apologize. If I'm a little quiet tonight, I'm sure things will pick up. Banana? What the hell does the banana do? I swear, if the banana was just points, I'm gonna be ticked. What is the banana? I don't remember the banana. What is that supposed to do? I don't know. I've been looking forward to playing Bomberman all day, but I'm also pretty tired. I think I'm finally done with all of the fever and the general aches and pains. But it's like just the recovery process has been exhausting. and my kids, my youngest in particular, is still actually recovering, and the medication he's on makes him very, 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 very irritable. So I've been fighting that all day, and I'm tired. I'm very, very tired right now. So I didn't really put a whole lot of thought ahead as to what I would talk about tonight. All I was thinking about was, gosh, it'll be fun just to play Bomberman and veg out on some Bomberman. And I was listening to Saturn Bomberman music earlier, and I was like, yeah, I can't wait till I play Saturn Bomberman. I need to verify that it will run with the emulator. Saturn emulation hasn't really gone anywhere in like years. It's very strange. There are two that are that most people use. One is by a Japanese developer, which people tend to shy away from because, for the most part, the instructions are in Japanese. The thing is, his emulator is probably the best of the two. Very high compatibility rate, and this guy is just driving me crazy. There, eat that. But not a whole lot of bells and whistles. Like, you can't, like, for instance, a PlayStation emulator, you can bump up the resolution, you can add all of these filters and mods, and I mean, you can really make PlayStation games look decent. Not to say they looked awful, but I mean, early 3D was rough. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Console 3D in particular was just not pretty. You'd be amazed at what just a resolution bump can do to a PlayStation game. It really, really does look good. Which, hopefully, at some point, we're obviously going to be playing PlayStation games. Yeah, I've got a few in mind at the moment that I want to, address. Sorry, I couldn't remember if I found the exit or not, and apparently no, I have not. I've got 57 seconds to find it. No pressure. There it is. But I would love to see mod support or higher resolutions for the Saturn. That could be really interesting. Can I get them both? Nice. Right now, though, it's basically native resolution. You might be able to increase it a little bit, but nothing major. And Saturn 3D is not pretty. It's unique. It's definitely its own beast. We'll leave it like that. That's the most eloquent way to describe Saturn 3D. The system really wasn't made for 3D. It can do 3D, but not on the level of the PlayStation. The Saturn, it's a 2D powerhouse. It really is, and that's not a criticism. I mean, its 2D capabilities are fantastic. But yeah, when it comes to 3D, very few games, yeah, that's being mean. I don't want to say very few games look good, because that's not really accurate. But again, Saturn 3D has its issues, and it takes time to get used to if you've never seen it before. Some games handle it much better than others. It's like if you knew how to program for the Saturn, you could pull off some great things. Some games I don't mind it. Panzer Saga is one of the games. It's not a looker really, but at the same time, I don't know. I've always kind of liked the way Panzer looked. It seemed appropriate. Because Panzer has a very unique art style, and it blended well with the Saturn's 3D capabilities. Then you have stuff like Virtua Fighter 2, 60 frames per second fighter, and rendered in a much higher resolution. I mean, I think it was like 640 by 480 or something insane, something not the norm for the day. It probably wasn't as even as 640 by 480. It was something like that. And yeah, it looks great. Virtua Fighter 2 is a very, very nice looking game. The closest comparison would be like, say, Tobal 2 for the PlayStation, which also ran at a much higher resolution, and used shading to compensate. Oh, jeez, this is ugly. What? There we go. And the result, I mean, it's a great looking game. Nice. I always remember being disappointed by Fighters Megamix. Granted, Fighters Megamix is a great game. It really was a cool game. Largely because of the enormous character roster and the expanded moveset. It had a lot of moves from Virtua Fighter 3 integrated into it, and at the time, I mean, that was the closest you could play Virtua Fighter 3 was through Fighters Megamix, and it was great. A good friend of mine, we played the hell out of Fighters Megamix. The one thing that did disappoint me about the game, though, was that it was a huge step down graphics-wise from VF2, which we had also played, the hell out of. Our Kage Jackie matches were the stuff of legends. See, I got a banana there. Man, I wonder if I skipped a power-up. I don't know. Oh, that's helpful. Whatever. Sadly, the last Virtua Fighter I put any real time into, like playing against friends, was probably VF3 TB for the Dreamcast, and I don't. Oh, how to explain it? We did put some time into that one, but this was before Soul Calibur had been released. This is of course VF3 TB, the Japanese version. Because Soul Calibur didn't come out until, oh gosh, it's like July or August. The the following year. It was a while. So we did put some hours into VF3 TV. But that was a bit of a weird experience because in my hometown, we had VF3 for like a period of 2 weeks, and then it was gone. So during that 2 weeks, we played it and played it a lot at the arcades, and was just amazed about what the game looked like. And then it was gone. It was taken from us, taken from us unfairly, before its time was due. And all I had left of VF3 was memories of what I thought it looked like. So along comes the Dreamcast and VF3, and I see this game, and I'm like, this is not a good port. And that was further that feeling was further vindicated by the fact that it was developed by a company named Genki, who is not AM2. I think by that point, all Genki had done, I think they had done some racing games, maybe. I honestly don't remember what the hell Genki was known for. They weren't known for Virtua Fighter, though. That's my point. And it just felt weird, and like this wasn't Virtua Fighter. Oh, I knew that he was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna do that. I couldn't plant a bomb on that tile. That was garbage. That was a waste. But it still played magnificently. It really is a good game. In fact, to this day, it's done a lot of stuff that other 3D fighters just have not. One of the main things is the unevenly tiered levels, and it did make a difference. High attacks suddenly became low attacks, depending on where you were standing, and stuff like that. I mean, 3D fighters don't touch; they don't do any of that. I've never been really sure why. I don't know if it's the complexity, or if they feel that it's just too random of an element. It's hard to say. And the animation also was top notch. Again, to this day, one of the new characters in VF3 was I think his name was Takarashi. He was the sumo wrestler, and he had this gorgeous hand slap where he takes his entire forearm and slaps you with it. It's just this meaty slap, and it sounds fantastic. And when it hits, I mean, it looks like it really, really hurts. And my friends and I would just, amuse ourselves for hours just playing Takarashi and just smacking the hell out of one another with that arm slap, especially into a wall. Because then, the opponent would like grab their face because they went face first into the wall. Yeah, it was brutal. But again, my memories of VF3 just felt tainted. It wasn't until many, 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 many years later that I found VF3 again in the arcade. And it was like, oh, okay, here I can finally, see, what was going on, if I'm right or if I'm just nuts. And yeah, no, sure enough, the port wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was. The game was kind of rough. Again, for the time, groundbreaking. Again, a lot of amazing stuff going on in the game. But visually, I was a little taken aback. I remembered it being more impressive than it was. So I don't even remember what the point of this conversation was. Oh, I guess discussing the graphics, like the emulators. Yeah, I'd love to see a decent Model 3 emulator that I could play with high-res graphics. Because again, VF3, though not as pretty as I remembered it, it is still a decent game, and in its own right looks nice. But I can't tell you that though. The moment we saw Soul Calibur and realized that, hey, wait a minute, these are actually in-game screenshots and not cinematics. That was it. The Virtua Fighter 3 was done. Oh, bomb enemy. Oh man, 0 lives? I remember. I still remember. Actually, I take that back. I don't know if I remember it. Nah, I had no choice. I was stuck. Oof. So when you reload, it does start your continues over. That's good to know. I distinctly remember seeing a screenshot of Ivy. It was on like the game fan online, and just being like, no way, that, whatever, that's CG. And then they revealed Cervantes was in the game, and there's a screenshot of him. And again, I mean, that solidified it. That was like, okay, that's totally CG. But yay, Cervantes! Because we were, my friend and I were huge Cervantes fans. But yeah, that was a total CG pirate. It was like, there's no doubt. Then we get the game, imported it. We got it the day after it was released in Japan. In fact, I remember I was at work, and I found out that it had been delivered, and I called my friend up immediately. And as soon as I got off work, we met over at my place, and we were there for the rest of the night playing this game. And the moment we saw the intro, we were unlocking like all the characters. The moment we saw the intro, that was in real time, and we saw the part with Cervantes. That was it. That solidified that the graphics just weren't getting any better than this. This was the peak here. And the thing is, it still was. Soul Calibur really set a very high bar. And thanks to the power of emulation, it still today looks very, very, very good. Some of the textures are a little blurry, but overall, The game looks fantastic, especially running at in HD resolutions. It really is incredible looking. In fact, there's a not to plug my own channel, but on Mecha Taco, under the GMVs, there is a Soul Calibur GMV, which is all of the character katas in the game, and that was all taken from the emulator, running the game at 1920 by 1080, and it's impressive. 60 frames too, so go for it. I highly recommend checking it out. It's the best part is that it's set to oh jeez, I can't remember the name of the song now. Edge of Soul, from oh yay, the heart thing actually helped me that time. Edge of Soul was the intro theme from Soul Edge, or Soul Blade in the States. Which, it's funny, I was actually thinking about that earlier too. Soul Edge and Soul Calibur had a lot of love put into the games. For instance, Soul Edge, aside from like the multiple endings, depending on like button pushes and some other things, you'd get different endings. Some were like nothing at all. Others were, pretty big changes. You also had stuff like Mitsurugi. Oh shoot! Why'd I do that? Mitsurugi facing off with the guy with the rifle. Which I had never actually managed to beat. I always got shot. Ooh, he charges. That's not cool. Got you that time. But it also had 3 different soundtracks. It had the original arcade, an arranged version of that arcade, and what was called the Con Super Sessions, which were completely different. And I mean they were very different tone, but very, very cool at the same time, very unique. And yeah, I mean, when was the last time a game gave you that option? Not satisfied with one soundtrack? Here, you can have 3 to choose from. And then of course Soul Calibur, was built from the ground up. The Soul Calibur in the arcade, not a pretty game. I mean, what it was running off of? Oh, what did they even call it? Oh, dang it! What was Namco's board called? I want to call it System, but that's Sega's deal. Oh man, for the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. But I think it was built off the same hardware as Tekken 3. So yeah, you can imagine it. It's not very, wasn't very pretty. Wow. Crap. Okay, so he's got 3 different patterns going on. That's great. So yeah, Soul Edge in the arcade, or Soul Calibur in the arcade. Ooh, it takes him out. Looked pretty rough. Still played it, definitely, no doubt. Ooh, you bastard! Got you that time. So yeah, I mean, if you compare Soul Calibur in the arcade and Soul Calibur Dreamcast, there isn't. There is no comparison. Dreamcast just destroys it. You know, there are differences. Oh, freaking! Yes, continue, please. Gotta beat this guy. At least beat this guy so I can get to the next level. Good. But yeah, so in addition to, you know, the upgraded graphics, you know, you had additional characters, you had all of the katas, the story mode, the gigantic art gallery, additional stages. I mean, it wasn't a port, it was virtually a remake. This is not going well. Okay, let's focus on the boss then. Not about Soul Calibur. I'm too in love with Soul Calibur to apparently concentrate as I'm getting blasted by this stupid pterodactyl. It's like a Toriyama boss. There's little dragon imps in Dragon Quest. Yeah, I'm on to you now. Now that I'm somewhat paying attention. Run away! There we go. That's you're mean, Bomberman. Oh, sorry, I have to hit the button. Wither. Sorry, I need to take a sip of my slightly melted frozen Coke. That's better. Planet Wither. Sand dunes. Meet El Baal. El Baal. Baal. Attack the exposed red parts of his ghostly face. Okay. Baal. Maybe it's Baal, like in Diablo. It's funny, I don't... Ooh. I don't remember this stage, and I don't remember the blocks regenerating. That's a nasty piece of work right there. Where'd that bird go? Oh, watch this fun. Watch this. Invincibility on the invincibility jacket. Bomb blast cannot touch me. Oh, I forgot about that. How fantastic is that? Unfortunately, I don't know where the exit is. And things are regenerating. Oof. Oh, this is gonna be a pain. Wow, this is not going well. Oh, way to miss there. Let's try that again. There we go. D2. Never played D2. Well, I take that back. I played it a little bit. I played the first D. Also played Enemy Zero, which was another one by that studio, whose name suddenly escapes me. I cannot remember the name of their studio for the life of me. I know the founder of the studio is no longer with us. He died at a very early age. Koji. Oh man, this is terrible. I feel bad. I cannot remember names. I want to say it's like Koji Indo, but I don't think that's right. It would be amazing the type of games he would be producing now. Definitely an artist ahead of his time. Oh, good. There we go. Enemy Zero was creepy. Basically a stalking game. You know, you were being hounded. I don't think I got very far in it. It's more of a, you know, I didn't play the game seriously. It was more like, oh, you have Enemy Zero, let's try it, and you know, didn't get much further than that. I've seen D2 played. I personally have not played it myself. But yeah, D1 I do remember. I remember it being timed. The whole thing was played in real time. So yeah, you were definitely on the clock on that one, and it was like an FMV adventure game essentially, or more like an FMV puzzle game. You know, kind of like Myst, except with vampires or something. It's been a while. Ah, okay. I was worried they stopped giving me hints. Ah, that lets me do this. I remember D2 took some heat though because the particular tentacle scene, somebody dying a horrible, creepy death via tentacle on a plane, which, you know, to be fair, that would be ill received today as well. Although with today's gaming climate, it would be more like, you know, LOL Japan, which seems to be the typical attitude for anything that's questionable, or anything that makes somebody feel uncomfortable. Ooh, that was close! Oh, you bastard! One life. It's like, should I press forward? I don't know. Is this going to be like a 3D broadcast? I wasn't really planning on that. Ooh, nice catch. Yeah, I wasn't planning on this being a long broadcast, but I think maybe it will be. Which, you know, honestly, that's okay. I kind of need time to recover from Fantasy Zone. Where's that banana again? Maybe You know, we might actually play D2 at some point. Because yeah, as I said, I've seen it played, but that's about it. All I really remember is the airplane scene and the main character being lost in like a mountain, very snowy mountain. My initial impressions weren't very strong. But I wouldn't put too much. I wouldn't look too much into that. It's been, as I said, it's been a while. I mean, we're talking about somebody who played and enjoyed Blue Stinger. That would be a fun game to do. Oh, I did not do that. Seriously? I almost did it again. Come get it. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? Before we do Ill Bleed, we need to do Blue Stinger. That one really should come first. It's by the same developer. Whose name I also just forgot. Man, you know, this is a bad evening for me. I'll say Climax. It's probably not right. But there's a lot of there's some callbacks and an Ill Bleed that, you know, make you go, oh yeah, Blue Stinger, yeah, they had that. Nothing major, you know, nothing that, you know, you'd be really missing the joke. But Blue Stinger is fascinating in its own way. You know, when the game was announced and saw the initial screenshots with the cool explosions, you know, my initial thinking was, you know, oh, wow, you know, this is like a really action-packed Resident Evil. And it's really not. It's it's corny and a bit silly and very strange. And none of that is meant as criticism. It's a fascinating game. It really is. And I mean, the characters are just wonderfully bizarre. As is the acting. Cannot forget about that acting. Which was untouched. They used English voice actors in the Japanese version, if I remember correctly, because that's the version I played, was the Japanese version. With the fixed cameras. Who was it? Was it Accolade or Activision? Whoever published it in the US, yeah, they updated the camera system, and I can't remember what they did. If they just changed the cameras or made it where oh, that was dirty. Or if they just gave you the ability to yes, control the camera on your own. Alright, load. Oh, well, hey, that's not bad. It starts me out from D5. I'm okay with that. I was thinking it was going to start me over from the very beginning of D. Don't like that enemy. You know, I had already beaten D4 and I was still talking about D2 or Blue Stinger or whatever. D4, of course, is the Swery adventure game. Swery, of course, being developer behind Deadly Premonition, as well as a few other games. And oh gosh, again, I cannot think of the games. He had a PS2 game, like Psyops or something. I don't know what it was called. I've got it. I found it used somewhere, and I was like, oh, I gotta have that. I have not played it yet, and whatever that game is, we will play that, because Deadly Premonition somehow managed to become like one of my favorite games. The game has a lot of charm, and again, a reoccurring theme with me with favorite games of all time is that they have, you can tell when a game is made with love, where the developer genuinely loved what they were doing. You know, Soul Calibur was one. Star Control 2 was one. And Deadly Premonition, yes. Because you know Swery was having fun developing this game. Not saying, you know, it was all easy to develop or anything like that. Because, you know, it's game development. Game development sucks. It's like the worst thing in the world. But if you enjoy what you're doing, though, it makes all the difference. And you're able to put out a product that has life and personality. And people notice. You can see the difference. And Deadly Premonition is definitely one of those games. No, nice. One thing Deadly Premonition is not, and it's easy to understand why it might be, is a game that's quote-unquote so bad it's good. Which honestly is the original reason I got the game. Because I had heard, you know, just how ridiculous the game was. I was like, oh, you know, I've got to see this. This is gonna be, you know, this is gonna be hilarious. And almost immediately, I was like, okay, this game is kind of fascinating, actually. Like, just the opening dialogue with York talking on the phone about the psychologically profiling Tom and Jerry. Just completely deadpan, too, about it. Which is the other thing. I mean, the acting is it's very deadpan. It's not. It just feels very natural. Very well done. Because of that, York is a great character. But I mean, just from that moment, I was like, okay, I'm playing something kind of special here. I wasn't expecting that level of dialogue in this game. So, and it only gets better from there. It really is a fascinating game. Well worth playing. You know, the reason it gets its reputation for being so bad it's good is because of, partially because of the graphics. I mean, it looks like an old game. You know, a PS2 level quality game. Which, coming from someone who just played Haunting Ground, you know, that doesn't really that doesn't bother me. It doesn't look as good as Haunting Ground, so there's that. But it's perfectly playable. You know, the controls are a little old-fashioned. People complained about the car controls, which I never had an issue with that. They complained about the map, which I did have an issue with until I took the time to learn how to read it, and then I was like, oh, never mind. Now I know where I'm going. Yes, learning a game can make a difference. My only real annoyance with the game, there's an enemy later on that takes absolutely forever to kill with your basic weapon, and that was just that sucked. But other than that, you know, that's not enough to turn me off from the game, because the game itself is fascinating. And one of the few games where I feel it's open to interpretation. You know, were the things that you were seeing actually happening or not? I'm okay with debating that. You know, it's definitely not cut and dry in Deadly Premonition mode. You know, the owls are not as they seem, or what they seem, so to speak. Now, ironically, well, not ironically, actually, yeah, maybe ironically, it was because of Deadly Premonition that I, well, that and the urging of my wife, actually, after she had watched me play Deadly Premonition, because she loves Deadly Premonition as well, to finally watch Twin Peaks. Which, you know, I remember when it came on, you know, was it 89, I think? You know, I was alive. But I didn't, it didn't seem like my thing, so I never watched it, and never got into it afterwards either. And yeah, I definitely adored it. You know, could not stop watching it. And yeah, I mean, obviously Deadly Premonition takes a lot of nods from Twin Peaks, wholesale at times. But it is also its own thing. Ooh, there goes that extra life. The stage is kind of rough. But D4, going back to the original discussion, D4 isn't bad. It's not Deadly Premonition. You know, I definitely see where Swery was going with it. You know, Microsoft wanted to win over the hardcore gamers. I'm not talking about like hardcore, like, you know, Call of Duty crowd. I mean hardcore as in like difficult to impress, the snooty gamers, the gamers who do appreciate stuff like Deadly Premonition, as well as the Japanese audiences. So they told Swery they wanted him to make a game that they could turn into an internet meme or meme or however. Oh crap! I blew it up, or however you pronounce it. And that is pretty obvious. He does that. That being said, it's still very much a sweary game. You can just tell it's still definitely his game. His dialogue is there, his characters are there. You know, there's some characters that are a little zanier, but it's still very much his game. And I rather enjoyed it. Nowhere near as, like say, difficult as Deadly Premonition. But still as fascinating, though. Still a cool game. Still waiting on the next part to come out. Swery, you know, he released it on PC, which was exciting. That's why I finally got to play it. And he was kind of using that as a gauge to see, you know, to release another part. And it was successful enough that, yeah, a new part would be coming. But he fell into some health issues. And last I heard, he's doing okay. I don't know if he's started up development again yet or not. You know, Swery is a pretty heavy drinker too, so you know, even if he starts off development, you know, who knows how long it's going to be until we see that game sees the light of day. Swery's great though. I mean, he's you know, he's like Kojima. Except, you know, let me think about this analogy here, this metaphor. It's not even that. It's just a comparison. Oh, I didn't even notice the time. Ugh. The stage. Kojima is a very, very big fan of Western movies, Western action movies in particular. Swery is just a fan of film in general. Obviously, Western filmmaking has a pretty big influence, but he's definitely not limited just to Western film. And when I say Western, I'm sorry. I do mean American. But yeah, no, Swery's all over the map. You know, if it's interesting, if it's quirky, it doesn't matter where it comes from. And that definitely shows in his games. This isn't going well. These wheels are rough. Now, trying to compare the two, you know, Kojima versus Swery as actual game developers, that's I don't think that's very fair. Kojima can put together a fine game, and you know, Swery can too. Swery's priorities are different, though. I think teaming them up would be hilarious. Oh man, you want to see dialogue. Dialogue that doesn't make any sense and goes nowhere. Wow, that'd be crazy. Kojima level dialogue with Swery. I would love to see that. quite honestly. I mean, a lot of the conversations in Deadly Premonition were lifted practically wholesale from actual conversations Swery had with his friends and members of his team. So, like the conversations between York and Zack, for instance, those are all like directly from Swery, which is great. You know, I just love listening to York talk about, you know, Lady Hawk and how he has a thing for movies about like women that turn into animals. Whoa. Oh, he moved it. Nice. Wow, this is not easy. Yeah, I waited too long on that one. Come on, whoop. Nice shot. That was luck, by the way. Don't die, don't die, don't die. Just plant one. Oh. That was close. I had a bomb vest! No, 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 I only needed one more shot. Ah. It's funny because it looks easy. It's like, oh yeah, this won't be a problem. You really can't let the hands get out of hand. Sorry. Because that screws you up. Ugh. Rage. Oh, where's it gonna start me from? Come on, boss. Yes, thank you. Okay, first one is no problem. The second one totally missed. So that was a bit of a waste. Ah. Alright, focus. Stop dreaming about Swery. I can't help it. He's a dreamy developer. He's the type of developer, well, just like what I was talking about with like seeing him and Kojima team up. You know, I don't even really like Kojima that much. I'm just gonna flat out say it. I've never been a huge fan of Hideo Kojima. Oh, that was garbage. But Swery is the type of developer I would love to see team up with other developers. I truly believe that, you know, he could produce just magic. You know, he brings the right amount of quirk and personality to games. Ooh. Come on, Bomberman. Get your head in the game. We can do this. This boss is really giving me trouble. But again, I've been... Oh, that wasn't even... Apparently I walked a little too close. Let's not do that again. this is actually... This is definitely the most difficult fight I've had in the game so far. I missed my opportunity there. Not that time, though. Oh! Switched. And he blew it up, because he's a jerk. He's a jerk there, too, and I hate him. Oof, run. Oh, they're getting fast. Oh, freaking... Ah! I had it! I had it. Alright, are we gonna do this? We're gonna do this. No. Quick reset there. We're gonna beat this boss. I'm not giving up for the night until I put this statue down. I will not let a statue defeat me. It happened in Gradius, it will never happen again. Inanimate objects should never be able to beat you. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, God. Ooh, oh, that was a good pattern. I had a thing going. All right, focus. I can't help it. I'm thinking of swearing. It's making me dizzy. Ah, get away from me. Stop. This is like a... It's a nightmare. The hands grabbing me and shooting things. It's a Freudian nightmare. I don't know what's going on. Stupid hands. I hate you, hands. Whoa, 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 whoa. Getting out of hand. Stop that. The pun was unintentional. I missed my opportunity there. There. I knew it. I knew that was... There was no way that was going to last that long. Any chance? Thank you. Oh my goodness. That was... Alright. Yay, Bomberman. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's okay. Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and... We've got 2 more planets. We're doing 2 planets a night, it looks like. That's not bad. We'll save it here at Surf. Planet Surf. A swamp. The Cockle Twins. Yeesh. Hit them when they sink down to water level. Nice. Again, just reminding you all, I mean, this is a PC engine. This is a TurboGrafx 16. And this looks beautiful. You know, I know the Mega Drive, or the Genesis, sorry, had a port of Bomberman 94 on it, and yeah, you know what? It didn't look anything like this. It doesn't have the color. Oh, that's fun. I'm just gonna kill myself because we're gonna save. Yep. Alright. Good. Oh, that was a good night. Oh god, now to load up the election results, see what's going on. Oh, I'm just gonna dream of Swery. So dreamy. I can just picture his little avatar. Little glasses on him. Yeah. I love you, Swery. And I hope you're doing okay. Alright. Any case, thank you all once again for joining me for another fantastic episode of Mecha Taco. You know, this one this was an interesting episode. I tended to ramble a lot. But that's okay. That's half the fun. And Bomberman is a game that lets me do that. Obviously, there are times where it hurts me. But all in all, you know, it's fun, and you know, it gives you something to argue about in case I'm very wrong with something. Koji Endo. That's got to be his name. Hang on, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Let's see. Please tell me I'm right. Please tell me I'm right. I'm gonna feel dumb if I got his name. That's what it was. Warp was the name of his team. Kenji Eno, not Koji Endo. What the heck? Where did that come from? Kenji Eno, thank you. And Warp was his company. Ah, well there. Okay, now I don't sound like a total idiot. I only sounded like a total idiot before. Now, just a little bit. Kenji Eno. D and enemy 0. Yes. Okay. I feel better. In any case, I hope you all had a good evening, and best of luck to you, best of luck to all of us, and I will see you here tomorrow. Good night, all.